Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. We're at the start of Chapter 5, so this will be fun. You wake up to the sound of Asterion's hooves, I hope I said that right, clicking on the wooden floor right behind you.
Good morning, Master. I am sorry for the noise. It was not my intention to wake you.
Snuggling up to the couch while the blanket covering you, it's easy to ignore the Minotaur's words. Were it not for the sunlight shining directly on your eyes and the smell of breakfast, you would have fallen back asleep. You peel yourself away from your blanket's warmth. You give Asterion a dopey smile as you step up and neatly fold the blanket before leaving it on the couch. You slept very well? I slept very well. Thank you, Asterion.
Oh, that is a relief. Well, I went ahead and made you breakfast.
At times it is easy to forget how exceptional are the circumstances you find yourself in. Waiting for breakfast is such a mundane thing, but all it takes is a glimpse of Asterion for the facade of normalcy to fall. It is easy to find Asterion's quick healing jarring, more so than the hotel itself. It already stretches the clothes that seemed too big yesterday. Speaking of his clothes, he is wearing the same old outfit from yesterday. One could say there is almost a touch of nostalgia to how he's dressed, as if he wanted to hold on to the past. Or it may be a more practical matter. This is the outfit you told him to wear. Say, Asterion.
Yes, Master?
About your clothes, is that all you have to wear?
Yes, it's all I could find. I believe Clement threw out all of my clothes away. Much like how he disposed of the wine. All that is left is my current outfit. And, an old
phone. Prisoma? What's a prisoma? Oh, I spelled that wrong already. Prisoma. Cool. Oh, there's no sound thingy? What? Prisoma is a type of loincloth that originated with the Minoan civilization in Crete. Surviving depictions show it being worn by male or female acrobats. A prisoma was possibly worn by Jesus during his crucifixion. It is a standard feature of the crucifixion in artwork. Okay, what is there a Webster page? What is dictionary.cambridge.org? Maybe? What is this? No, dear. Loincloth. That's the definition. It just says loincloth. Okay. Sure. Okay. Well, Asterion, you could wear that. It'll be fun. You know? You recall what a prisoma is from your culture art studies. It's no surprise that Asterion is an old-fashioned guy, and is wearing a 1500 BC style loincloth under his pants. Well, you can't just wear the same clothes every day, and 70-year-old clothes at that. Maybe you could try something modern. We can just summon food and water here, right? Surely I can get you some clothes, too.
Of course, Master. Just command and the hotel will bend to your will.
The hotel flickers around you, as reality rewrites itself. You picture a shirt you could see yourself wearing. It's a simple task. Something stylish and fitting for a Minotaur. Out of nowhere, a bundle appears in your hands. It's a pair of blue jeans and a V-neck you came up with. Asterion stares, visibly curious.
Perhaps it is fitting that I have more modern clothes to wear. Today might be a special day. Now that the hearth is lit, guests may find their way to the hotel again. I want to make a good impression. Maybe the clothes I pick are inappropriate. I wouldn't know. It has been a long time after all. And should I wear what should I wear today then?
To dress Asterion, select one of the categories on the left side of the screen? What? And then select the clothes you want Asterion to wear on the right? When you're done, click finished? What? What is... Oh? Nude. Oh. Well, lower clothes. Loincloth. We're gonna... Okay. Huh. I did put, yeah, loincloth, yeah. Can I make him just do this? That'd be funny. I don't want to, though. That's weird. You know, I kind of like this more. I'll be honest, I don't like the orange. I guess I don't like the stripe here. Like, this is fine, actually. I think I would prefer it if it didn't go across the chest, and it was instead just trimming around the sleeves. I think I'd like that a lot more. But I don't know, something about it like going fully across the chest, I'm not a big fan of. The actual colors I actually really like, because, you know, black and orange, pretty good, and dark blue pants always work with black, and blue is complementary to orange, I'm pretty sure, if I remember my color wheel correctly. So, like, it works. And even, like, the brown of his fur kind of works with it. But, like, his fur is so earth tony that I'm also, like, I really like this. Like, it just works well together. It draws your attention to his massive pecs, you know, as suspenders typically do. I do like the more rustic look, though. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna go with the 40s outfit. Yeah.
Should I wear my old clothes then?
Yes, the white shirt will probably never go out of fashion. The pants are a little old, and people rarely use suspenders outside of formal occasions, but I think you look quite elegant with them. You catch a tone of pink on his left cheek, where the fur is still growing back.
I appreciate the compliment, Master. These clothes are very dear to me, and it pleases me to hear they are still appropriate in this day and age. Now that this matter is settled, I shall interrupt your breakfast no more, Master.
You bring your meal. You begin your meal. That's what that is, yeah. Asterion sits at the other end of the table, occasionally inspecting his appearance. When you look up from your plate, you catch him grooming his fur here and there. Once you are done, Asterion bows and takes your plate. As he carries it to the kitchen, you see him pick at some of the scraps, and eat them. A short while later, he returns.
Do I have the master's permission to go down and inspect the hearth? I want to make sure everything in the hotel is working properly.
Sure, I can go with you.
Really?
Yes, I mean, if we're having guests, maybe I should help with the inspections. You, see where everything is and all.
Very well. Please, follow me.
Also, maybe I just want to spend time with you, you know? So, yeah. Luke 1. Stargazing and Whiplash. Okay. What? Wait. Whoa. Bird. The griffins sit on a damp picnic table, sipping the stale, diluted, all-American beer. He hunches forward, supporting his elbows on his knees, and inhales the petrichor, wafting from the rain-slicked soil. He enjoys every gulp of his lukewarm Bud Light, letting it sit in his beak until all the taste is gone before swallowing. He looks ahead, towards Cape Canaveral's launch site, to avoid staring at the families nearby. He tells himself to smile. The table is coated in a fine layer of salt water, blown onto the mainland from the sea up ahead. That some salty condensation coats the griffin's feathers, fur, and beak. His mind hops with each languid blink of his eye. The lukewarm beer with an aluminum aftertaste. I looked this up just not too long ago. Petrichor smell mixed in with the grass from the rain, the humming of insects. The catchy pop song blaring from a stereo a few yards away. He taps his feet to the song's rhythm while laying a hand over the front pocket where he keeps his passport. The setting sun glaring at him, he raises a hand to shield his eyes and looks at the fine men hanging around with their families, dancing to the song. He knows he shouldn't. They are married after all, but the griffin can't stop himself from fantasizing. They are stout and hairy, and damp from the humid day under the Florida sun. Their shirts have sweat stains. A few of them are wearing tank tops that ride up their bellies, showing off their treasure trail and navel. Man, this guy knows what he wants. One of them in particular, a man in his mid-30s, wears a cocky knee-high shorts and an unbuttoned dress shirt adorned with the NASA logo, makes the griffin thirsty. He's grateful for his shades. It's easy to turn your head away while keeping your eyes drilled on your prize. One would guess he's enjoying the pinks and oranges of the setting sun. But there is no containing a longing like this. That's a fine man, for sure. But it's the shirt that sells it for the griffin. Surely it's just some gift shop memento, but maybe he's an engineer on his day off. He always had a thing for smart men like that. What he wouldn't do to taste him, feel him, hear him gush over his latest project. The Griffin opens another beer and chugs it. Even with eyes closed, he lays a hand on the table and recognizes all the carving on his on it dating from decades ago. At times, the Griffin avoids thinking in words. That's a danger to eloquence. But he can't escape them forever. He checks his phone and scrolls over the messages from his ma and siblings, telling him they wouldn't be able to attend this year. The Griffin sits on the picnic table, pressing the carvings he left over the years, and is assaulted by words. He calls himself Luke. Today, he is alone with his own thoughts, and nothing is more terrifying. This is the first time only one of them came over to watch the launch. For decades now, the tradition was fulfilled without interruption. A yearly visit to Cape Canaveral, got there, to watch a launch. He knows that traditions are powerful, for as long as they remain unbroken. But he's here, and hopefully that will be enough to keep it going. Next year, he'll drag everyone along, even if it's the last thing he'll do. Even if, like today, the launch is cancelled at the last minute. Truth is, seeing the rocket go up is a happy surprise. But is not at all a necessary part of their tradition. What matters is bringing the family together to remember. The Griffin opens another beer. He'll keep drinking well into the night, at times sneaking sideways glances at all those fine, married straight men, hoping one of them looks back with the same lecherous eyes. If they look his way, they'd see a painfully average human, an American with hazel hair and somewhat tan skin. Luke pats his passport once again. How fragile is this illusion that keeps people from seeing his true form? A simple booklet in his is his main shield against detection. At the same, and that same little notebook is what keeps all those men from looking at the Griffin and noticing him. It makes him unnoticeable. Where they look his way, he'd be like a distant memory, a nondescript human shape. Their mind will glaze over. That is a weight all mythical creatures must carry, you know. Luke thinks back to his childhood, surrounded by more than a dozen siblings, back at the old farmhouse to the east of Austin. During summer, the entire family would sleep on the porch to cool off. The kids would make a mass of limbs piled together, breathing in unison. The boys in one corner, girls in the other. Luke and his brothers would look up to the stars and trace constellations. Peter, the oldest, would tell the story behind each one of them, or make them up, as Luke realized years later when he enlisted in the military and was mocked for thinking Orion was playing guitar. Tonight, Luke cradles his memories. He'll sleep cuddling his picnic table, looking up to the stars he'll never touch. When he speaks, he has the voice of a schoolboy, and he hears Peter telling him all the made-up stories. One can almost forget the hardship and temptation of being an adult at such times. By the time dawn breaks, he will be a man again on his way home. This guy's fun. Driving scares away the words. One's conscious mind turns off, and again, and all that is left is being in the moment. A pure mechanical memory alongside the scent of the cracking leather seats. Long drives drives and thousands of miles never scared Luke, ever since the 2010s. Wait, 20s, 10 hours on the road or more were always welcome. He has a home, a small cottage in the mountains of a flyover state. Is that one of those middle America states? Is that what those are? 40 miles away from the nearest town. Not a single neighbor, human or otherwise. It wasn't worth it, making the effort to build bonds when he would be just forgotten. That was an effect of the passport and all the charms he used. It disguised the Griffin as a human, but also made most people prone to forgetting him. He could never remain there for long. The isolation got to him, but neither did he fare well in the city for long. Being forgotten was too much. The cabin was just a place he had the keys for. His car was a better home, although with all of the traveling over the years, he had learned not to grow attached to any specific vehicle, even if he took care of them like a son. Home was the road in all of its forms. Usually car, but also train, bus, even hitchhiking. As for a bed, his time in the military taught him that the floor is as good as any bed. Although sometimes he lay there at night and wondering if if he was in a bed instead, would there be someone beside him? He looks down to the cup holder to his right. There's his passport, that little blue booklet, his ball and chain. He can't lie to himself. He can't stay long in a single place. But he can't speak the truth either. Words, he knows, are dangerous. For a man such as him, these wordless moments of mechanical memory feel like the closest to a paradise he will ever experience. Just don't think too hard about it. A reverie such as this can last days, but it is fragile. All it takes is a single unforeseen shift, and it shatters, and that's all. And that's what happens. Far ahead, something catches Luke's eye. A man walking beside the road. He doesn't think. The impulse to help a stranger just hops up to the forefront of his mind. He wants to give him a ride. The car comes to a screeching halt. Luke lowers the passenger side window and stretches over to greet the traveler. The Griffin cranes his neck up and down to take a good look at the man, but speaks before he's even seen his face.
Hey, you want to ride?
The Griffin is still appraising the man, quite openly in fact. It's been a few days since he's seen any action, and the last afternoon at Cape Canaveral only revered his boosters. Revved. Luke stares openly at the stranger's crotch. Now that's a happy surprise, he thinks. It's not every day a handsome hitchhiker packs his own lunch. A thick length of denim bustin' sausage.
Now, aren't you a good Samaritan? Don't mind if I do.
Samaritan? Now that's a word Luke hasn't heard before. He keeps his ignorance to himself. The traveler has a stiff accent, with sharp constants and chirping, youthful voice. As soon as he enters, Luke's surprised with how well kept he is. He smells like fresh laundry. That's an even a better surprise. It's never sexy when the car ends up smelling like a garbage truck. The two set off together, with the radio blaring a sweet jazz tune. Luke sneaks sideways glances at the fine piece of man, barely able to contain the throbbing need in his pants.
Not many people nowadays give rides to just anyone they see on the road. That's very kind of you, mister.
Luke, just Luke. And what can I say? I don't have the heart to leave someone in the middle of nowhere. I travel a lot, you see. Did a lot of hitchhiking, as I always try to help out and pay it forward. By the way, mister, I'm afraid I didn't get your name either.
Gene, that's what my friends call me.
Oh, so we're friends already. That was quick.
Of course, I've been on the road for a good while too, and I can appreciate someone who treats travelers properly. People like us ought to look after each other's needs.
Oh, sure. I know how to treat a traveler properly. Luke sneaks another sideways glance at Gene and spreads his legs. The bulge of his erection is plain for the traveler to see. He sure could go for a blowjob right about now. Giving one, that is. It's not easy giving head when you have a beak, but practice makes perfect, and Luke has had a lot of practice. It takes a conscious effort to keep himself from pulling over and going down on Gene. It takes he must have a fine dick, he thinks, but it hardly matters what his dick is like. Any dick is good enough. Luke wonders how Gene likes to fuck. Maybe he'll grab the griffin's head and go to town. He might end up with a slobber running down his chest and his feathers all ruffled up. That's how a proper fuck ought to leave you, he thinks, all disheveled with a taste of cum lingering in your mouth. Or maybe Gene is the type to pull out when he's coming, and that'd be fine too. Having a load drying on your feathers, it's not like anyone would notice since they are already white, but it'd be hot if they did. Luke never bothered hiding how much of a slut he is. It's sexy. It's sexy in its own way. He wouldn't mind getting railed either. Bending over the car's burning hood, spreading his legs and letting the stranger make him into a bitch. Either way, beats driving with a load in his gut. But then again, the traveler has such delicate features, it's hard to imagine him as a rough fucker. Maybe he's the kind to make love. The griffin feels the tension rise in the air. His erection strains against his pants. It won't be long now before a wet patch forms on his crotch. His daydreaming, however, killed the conversation. He wants more of that erotic voice, and to make sure the traveler is up for it. He must be one of those weirdo foreigners, Luke thinks.
You have a funny accent, Gene. Mind telling me where you're from? Oh, I'm from Europe, but you can probably guess that I don't live there anymore. I work as a delivery man, so I don't ever stop for long in a single place. In fact, that's why I'm here to begin with. I'm making a delivery to a truck stop a few miles up the road. You only have to take me that far. You are American, yes? Is that a Texan accent, I notice?
Damn right! Born and bred in the Lone Star State, and a proud veteran to boot. I don't believe I don't live there anymore, but let me tell you, there's no place quite like it. The men are men for starters, and no food beats ours. I've heard some New Orleans Cajun food is better, but it is good. Don't get me wrong, but nobody compares to our barbecue. Nothing. I've been to Europe. I've had your grub and drank your wine. It ain't too bad, but y'all are too classy and stuck up for your own good. Back when I was there, I'd rather be my mirrors than the stale bread the French gave us. I don't get what all the fuss is about the baguette and croissants. Back then, they wouldn't even spare us a pat of butter. Never got the what's so good about macaroons either. Back when in Nancy, they all tasted like cough syrup. French food ain't what it's cracked up to be. The talking makes Luke forget what about his raging erection. He's used to being silent and avoiding words, but of course, he is almost always on his own, on the move. The prospect of company warms him up, and all the words come pouring out. Words aren't so pricky when you have company. And while some, if not most, would feel intimidated or weirded out by Luke's rambling, the traveler cracks a smile and nods along. Have you ever been to Texas? You need to try our cornbread, plus a proper burger with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. What, not a boiled Dr. Pepper with lemon? Like, come on, be classy. Pepsi drinkers get the rope. Good old Texas barbecue, you have to try it. It's the best in the whole goddamn world, and the rest can suck it. I don't know if a fancy pants European like you can appreciate a good burger. Seen one of ya trying to eat with a fucking fork and knife. Then again, aren't knives banned over there in Europe or something? Texas will make a man out of you, and if you're ever in Houston, there's so much to see. Mission Control and the Space Center for starters. They have kick-ass pickle pops. You gotta try those. No, I've been to Texas before, yes, but I admit I haven't been through all of those experiences. I'm sorry. Definitely haven't had a Texas barbecue. I'll have to get that sorted out next time. Can't such a fox pass again. Now there's another one of those fancy European words, falpa, thought the Griffin. If you don't mind me asking, what brought you here to Florida? Oh, it was a family reunion. Ma and all the siblings get together once every year to watch a rocket launch. It's a tradition. But the whole thing went to shit. Everyone was too busy this year. I came anyway, of course. Can't let tradition die. But even the launch left me hanging. The whole thing got delayed. It got me so bummed I decided to just go home early. I usually stop by Fort Lauderdale for a week or two of fun, but I figured I wasn't in the mood for it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And Fort Lauderdale, now that's a destination if you want to party. Maybe a more relaxing vacation would do you good. You've already visited France. I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but maybe you should give Europe another try. Burgos is great this time of year. It's like a fairy tale. Is there any place you'd like to visit? Luke thinks before answering. France is out of the question. Same goes for Germany, Italy, or Greece. Oh. I don't know how long this conversation will go on for. And I kind of have to end the part here, because I need to go somewhere. So, I'll see you all around.